A nation is only as great as the individuals that make up the nation. Our church is only as great as the individuals who make up this church and commit ourselves and dedicate ourselves to the Lord. And we need to understand that that's so important today. As great and good as Pastor Lee is, he can't build a great church here unless we help him. He's just one man called of God to lead us. And President Bush cannot make America a great nation unless we as individuals bow before God and become great individuals and great Christians before God. Neither can Congress, neither can the Supreme Court, nor anyone else that has anything to do with our government today. A week ago, this past Friday, was the 4th of July. Now you say, preacher, why are you telling me that? We all know that. And I'm sure that we do know of it as the 4th of July. But do we know what the 4th of July stands for and what it means? Because it's the 4th of July because it's Independence Day. And I'm afraid that with this holiday, as with so many others, that if you ask a lot of the younger kids what is the significance of the 4th of July, they will say fireworks, hot dogs, hamburgers, and Cokes. And don't even know what it stands for. Do not even know that it's Independence Day. Do not even understand what it is. That these men, these signers of this Declaration of Independence, what they went through, what they had to give up, what they gave, because you see, some gave the ultimate sacrifice. Some gave all that we might have this great independence that we have today. Someone wrote these interesting words entitled, "Only in America." Only in America can a pizza get to your house faster than an ambulance. Only in America are there handicapped parking places in front of a skating rink. Only in America do drugstores make the sick walk all the way to the back of the store to get their prescriptions, while healthy people can buy cigarettes in the front. Only in America do people order double cheeseburgers, French fries, and a Diet Coke. Only in America do we leave cars worth thousands of dollars in the driveway and put junk in our garage. Hello? Only in America do we use answering machines to screen calls and have call waiting so we won't miss a call from someone we didn't want to talk to in the first place. Only in America do we buy hot dogs in packages of 10 and buns in packages of 8. Now, with all of our craziness, there are a lot of paradoxes that go on in America today, too. And there's a lot of sadness if you think about some of these statements that have been made. George Carlin has written an article called "The Paradox of Our Time." The paradox of our time is history, and in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers. We have wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences and less time. We have more degrees but less sense, more knowledge but less judgment, more experts but yet more problems, more medicine but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, life too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We've learned how to make a living but not a life. We've added years to our life but not life to our years, and that's sad. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We've done larger things but not better things. We've cleaned up the air but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. And I like this one. We've built more computers to hold more information. And if you remember when the computers first came out, they said, we'll get all these computers and there'll be less paper. I think there's more paper than there's ever been. And that's what he says. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. Brothers and sisters, there's a lot of negative about America, but I'm here to tell you that I still believe that America is the greatest country in the world. And I believe that we are blessed to have been born and raised in America. But the Bible teaches us that to whom much is given, much is required. If so, then God must expect an awful lot from America today. It is not the legislature's fault. It is our fault, and we are responsible. You see, America is a great country. And I believe that in her worst, she is still better than any other country at its best. I love America, but America needs to repent. We are the most materially blessed people in the world. I read a statistic that says that if we're at the poverty level in America, we're still in the top 5% of wealthy people in the world. Think about that. God has blessed America. And finally, America's future. What does God expect of America today? We've already said that God expects a lot. And talking about expecting a lot, I read this story about a college student who was taking a course in ornithology. Now, that's the study of birds. And I know we joke about the course in college of bird watching and what a crip course it is, and everybody ought to take the bird watching course. Well, this in this school was not a crip course. They talked about that professor as being the meanest, hardest professor in that class, and it was a required course, and everybody had to take it. And so, boy, when they went in there on the first day, the professor said, all right, you guys, in 40 days we will have a very serious test, and this test will count greatly toward your final grade. And so, boy, they studied and they took notes like everything, and they got ready. They thought they were getting ready for this test. And so on the 40th day, they walked into class, and when they walked into class, sitting on the table in front of them was 5 cages. 5 bird cages with covers on them about all the way down to about that far, and the only thing they could see was the feet and the spiny legs of the birds. So the class bell rang. The professor got up and he says, all right, here's your test. You see on this table 5 bird cages. You can see their feet and their legs. Identify the birds. The students just went, how do we identify the birds? They racked their brains. They did everything they could to try to figure out. Finally, one student got up and he says, that's it. I quit. I'm not going to take this test. That's the stupidest, dumbest test I've ever seen, and you're the most awful professor that I know. And he turned and headed for the door. When he got almost to the door, the professor said, wait a minute. He says, I demand that you tell me what your name is. The student looked at the professor. He stood there for a minute, and he pulled up his breeches legs and said, you tell me. What will America be in the future? What does God really expect? You tell me. Listen to what Micah 6:8 says. He says, He has showed you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? 1, to act justly. 2, to love mercy. 3, to walk humbly with your God. So America needs to change, and she's going to change. Not according to what happens in the White House, but according to what happens in our house. In yours and mine. That's what will bring change about today. We need to get our act together. We need to begin to love our families and our husbands and our wives. We need to get back on track again and put God in the center of our churches, in the center of our homes, and in the center of our schools. Then America will change, and she will become the country that God always wanted her to be.